Hey gang, how are things going? Hope you're having a great day. Let's get StreamYard up and going here. There we are, fantastic. All right then. Just want to make sure my second screen is right here where I can get at it, have a look at it. Terrific. You know, it's summertime and it's that crazy time of the year as usual, right? Holidays are going to start to wreak havoc on our business and customers moving around all the time and just making sure I've got all the microphones close by. You know, summertime can be really, really fantastic in the automotive industry, and it can be, for some of us, really quite challenging as well. So you really want to, that was the purpose of creating this post on perpetual follow-up. We can't do enough follow-up. You've got to think that some people have been looking for an automobile for a long period of time, thinking about it for quite some time. And as the spring unfolds and those summer months start to take place, automobiles tend to drive better and well than they do in the wintertime when everything is tight and cold and not really responding well. Or more importantly, when we're not using our vehicles as much, and if we start using more frequently in the spring and summer months, then just those moving parts of an engine and wheels and tires and the whole entity seems to run better, which means, especially if the air conditioning system, albeit is working slowly, and the battery cranks a little slower than normal, because people are thinking about going away on holidays and everything that they want to do during that holidays and visiting friends and traveling and going to vacation destinations with all the activities that could happen, they may put off what they are inevitably going to be faced with, and they invariably know that they're going to have to do this service to their vehicle. Sometimes it catches them by surprise. And worst case scenario, they have a complete failure. Now, what we can do with perpetual follow-up is going back into the archives, because the summertime gets a little bit slower. The doors don't seem to swing quite as fast in the showroom, regardless of the economy. Even in the booming record years, July and August, that's when everybody wants to take their holidays, when the weather is really quite nice, the traffic seems to settle down, which is when we need to focus on filling our pipeline with traffic that we can control. That traffic that we can control always comes from your repeats, your referrals, your own personal network, and of course, service department upgrades. Service department upgrades are an absolute home run this time of the year, because as much as people think that cold weather destroys the battery of their automobile and it fails and then it won't start, it is actually, in fact, the inverse. It's the hot weather that is so hard on batteries, and consequently, they lose their cranking amperage, which becomes most evident in the wintertime when the engine is actually harder to crank over and start because everything is cold. Think of frozen as cold. That's the reason why the battery typically doesn't work in the wintertime as frequently as it doesn't fail in the summertime. So if you get somebody that's having a difficult time in the service department, the vehicle is cranking slowly for whatever reason, or you get talking to one of the technicians, you just ask them, hey, you know what, you would be most helpful to your clients if you were to tell them, you know, now's a great time to purchase an automobile, because number one, your vehicle is at that magic junction where it's either going to require a lot of service going forward from here, which we don't want to discourage you from doing. And I'm role playing as though I was a service advisor, the technician, the service manager, the call center calling this individual, and you're asking them, hey, who's about to experience this? Or they could postulate that now, because of interest rates, or now because it's summertime and we tend to settle down a little bit and vehicles aren't selling quite as quickly, now is a great time to purchase. These are the seeds that you can furnish your service advisors and technicians with talk tracks to encourage clients to move forward to a new car, because that's what they all want to do. We know, we've talked about this before. Anybody will trade for faster, newer, shiny, of the latest and greatest technology if They knew how affordable it was. Now, while they're driving around in the current vehicle that they've got, and of course, if they don't think there's a real problem, so there isn't a whole lot of pain or fear masking their decision or a cloud hanging over their head, forcing them to make a decision. If they're just driving around in desire, it'd be nice to drive a newer Jeep, F-150, Silverado, Sierra, Tundra, Corolla, Civic, Sentra, Mazda 3, the list goes on, whatever brand that you sell. The point is, everybody would change if they knew how affordable it was. And so it really becomes our job to share those details with them. And that's where your perpetual follow-up really kicks in. Following up with a shopper, like, you know, hey, it's me down at the dealership. You know, I'm pretending like I'm on the phone. I'm role-playing with it. It's me down at the dealership. And, you know, I'm just wondering if you're still interested in a car, like you can't, truck, van, SUV. You came in and saw me yesterday, the day before that, the week before that, the month before that, 3 months ago. Nobody wants to receive that call. In fact, I'm pretty sure you don't even want to make it. So the secret to perpetual follow-up is obviously, as I indicated during the post, if you read the post ahead of time, we want to build relationships. We want to build lasting relationships. So the fastest and easiest way for you to get more people into your pipeline, which will eventually trickle into your sales funnel. Remember, the funnel is when they actually reach out to you, okay? When they actually call you, when they actually email, when they walk right into the showroom. That is when they're in the funnel. The funnel are the 8 activities that lead to the sale. Right? You don't get a second chance to make a great first impression. Then doing the interview, and then walking through a presentation, demonstration, the trade appraisal, and then finally closing the sale up. That's your funnel. We're backing it all the way up to the pipeline because this time of the year, I get a lot of complaints as I've had recently. You know, traffic is a little light, Bill. There's not as many people walking into the showroom. I don't know what our manufacturer is doing for advertising, but we're not seeing the traffic. I don't know what our dealer is doing for Hey, look, I even spoke to a general manager this morning who said, I just had enough of the advertising that we're doing. It wasn't having any traction. So we turned everything off and I abandoned my latest marketing and advertising company just to see what would happen. And he said, it wasn't great. Obviously, traffic dropped, the phone stopped ringing, but all of a sudden, as we focus on the activities that lead forward, building relationships, reaching out to people who had come in to visit us earlier, or who are on lease renewals, or are in the service department that should be looking at a newer vehicle. He said, you know what, that perpetual follow-up thing really works. You know, building the relationship to help customers make the decision that they would like to make is a whole lot easier than spending a boatload of money on advertising just to drive a bunch of people into the showroom who may buy, may not, who, you know, it's advertising and paid strategies are only worthwhile at a critical junction. You don't do a paid strategy when you don't have people walking in. If you can't make it organically work, if the brand doesn't have enough recognition in the marketplace, if your dealership doesn't have enough recognition within the community, if you aren't a common name in the community, then throwing money at the consumer, trying to tell them to come down to you, is almost useless as well, because organic builds that know, like, and trust badge of honor. Now, once you get to the point where you just can't grow organically anymore, then yes, I would encourage you to go to a paid strategy and expand your reach and your marketplace. And technically, you're going in other PMAs, which is not necessarily a good thing. But if you really want to move product and create a huge difference, that may be the only way to do so. But again, going back to building relationships with perpetual follow-up. We're talking about 27 emails. And 27 emails are so easy to create with our system, leveraging ChatGPT or Gemini to do the hard work for you, writing the content. You need to create the right command prompts. We will share those details with you. In fact, to start with, you could just download our templates that comes right out of harvesting prospects in step number 4 of the manifesto. If you want to know more about that, I'll put a link below to book a call with me, and that's just a call. Doesn't have to be a Zoom call. Doesn't have to be a face-to-face conversation. I would prefer that. I'd really like to see you and chat and talk. You may want to see me. You don't have to turn your camera on. You can just see me in my antics sitting here in my studio office. But here's the thing. When you book that call, you can ask me anything about how to get 20, 30, 40 more people in your pipeline. And I'm going to share with you, here's one little super secret that I've got. This time of the year, it's really easy to do. Whatever your customer is that you would like to get a referral from, whatever they do, or whatever industry that they work in, whatever product that they represent, find a customer that could benefit by your customer's product or service and play matchmaker. Marry them up. Connect the two of them. This is the secret of high performers. Because what happens is not only do you become top of mind playing this matchmaker, there is the law of reciprocity kicking in as well, where they feel an obligation to refer someone to you, refer back to you, which is fantastic and wonderful. And this is what makes life so much easier and better. Now, the next part of the equation, I see some comments coming in. I'll field the comments at the end of the seminar as well, if that is okay. Increasing referral opportunities is accomplished by simply asking. You know, you're never, ever going to get any referrals if you don't ask. But asking them and saying something along the lines of, hey, look, if you know anybody who wants to buy a car, like, I'm here, okay? I believe it's even worse when you do this. Hey, you know, if you know anybody, a friend, a family member that would like to buy a car and get a great deal like you did, we pay $75, $100, $200, $400 for any one of those leads. Well, first of all, it looks like you're begging and pleading for business. And that's probably why most of you don't ask for referrals. I built my whole entire business. In fact, I paid off my first dealership on referrals alone because it was the peak of the recession. We're talking about 1994. This was the worst recession since the Great Depression. There was nothing that advertising would do to bring people in. People did not have money. Interest rates were 17%. A subvented rate was 12.5% coming from the manufacturer. And that did stimulate sales and really drove a lot of traffic. But here's the thing. By going to our network, by going to those individuals that we have already earned the know, like, and trust badge of honor with and saying something that would resonate with them, such as, you must know somebody. I didn't ask them, hey, if you know anybody who wants to buy a car, that is useless. But when I say you must, I give them a directive. I really make their conscious mind think. You must know somebody, not who wants to buy a car. They don't. They never will. And they're always going to say, I don't know anybody. But you must know somebody who should be driving a more reliable vehicle because they have children in the vehicle, or they're making a long distance commute, or they're planning a summer vacation out east, out west, down south, up north. You must know somebody in your travels, in your network group, that has made that reference. And I'm guessing is that individual also said that your vehicle is really quite nice. And it probably created a little bit of dialogue. If anything, it's going to create some dialogue about where you purchased your vehicle. Can you do me a favor? Can you write down or make a mental note, or in that moment, grab your cell phone, grab your mobile device, and text me really fast. Hey, I was just talking to my brother, and my brother is thinking about doing a family trip, and they just bought a new RV, and he said, I got to look at a truck because the trip is coming up in August, and I need something to drive now. So reach out to my brother, reach out to my sister, reach out to my dad, my brother, my cousin, my uncle, my aunt, my coworker, my neighbor. If you don't ask, you'll never get. And remember, it's what we say is more important than, how we say it. Pardon me. So scratch that, okay? Ignore that earlier statement. How we say it is more important than what we say. We're looking for a referral here. You must know somebody who would like to buy a vehicle. That is how I said it. It's not what I said. You must know someone. I didn't say, Do you know anybody? That's just asking for a referral. That's the reason why you don't like doing it. And of course, you're going to have to practice with it. So when you practice, here's another tactic. Do it with friends. Do it with family. In fact, you can beg, plead, and grovel with family. You can beg, plead, and grovel with your best friend. You can call them up and say, how's it going today? And they should hear it in your voice. You shouldn't be excited. They go, yeah, it's good. And everything's great over here at Acme Widgets. We're just lighting the world on fire. Everything's going amazing. How's it going for you? And go, actually, it's not really good. Actually, in fact, it's really bad. Other than you're the first telephone conversation I've had all day long. And I'm just looking for somebody to talk to because, I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen to the car business. This current economy that we have, I need to do something. It's either stay in it and change the way I'm doing business, or I need to get out of it. I could create an opportunity for you to get out. I don't want to encourage you to do so. I'm sure if any managers or owners in the room do it before you start sending me a whole bunch of crazy comments. This stimulates dialogue and makes you look candid, and that's what earns the know, like, and trust badge of honor when we're building these relationships with perpetual follow-up. There's nothing wrong with a little bit of begging and pleading if, in fact, you need to get business happening that quickly, because friends and family will want to help you, and you can practice your begging and pleading for that matter with them, and you can then modify it and continue to build on it and make it better so that it doesn't actually come across as begging and pleading. It comes across as a genuine question about how you can get some referrals. Now, the next bullet point that I wanted to share with you as well was capitalize on changing circumstances. So as we follow up with our clients that especially are now out of the 3-day, 72-hour window, which is where everybody thinks about buying, if you can't keep them in 72 hours cycling back and forth, where they're up here, they came into your dealership, they called you, they emailed you out of excitement, they want to buy. And then, of course, as the time passes, they start falling down to their lowest level of doubt. At which point, at the 72-hour mark, you need to keep talking to them, get them excited, and bring them back up again. If you don't, they go through that and it becomes the upside-down bell curve. And on the other side of that, they start considering their best-case scenario. And that's why we lose so many clients who say, I had no intention of buying today. Let me think about it. I'm going to talk it over with my spouse, and I'm shopping 3 places looking for the best deal. So give me your best price, because that's what's going to bring me back. In any one of those situations and cases, it is easily feasible for you to keep them in that perpetual follow-up cycle of being a hot lead. And you're doing this with your 10 hot leads per day on a piece of paper, as well as your warm list, which are the 3 that you take off every single day, and you push over to the other list, and you take 3 off that list, and they go to a lukewarm list. This is how you create a perpetual list of follow-up. This is how you can leverage 27 email sequences that build on each other daily, that build on each other weekly, monthly, and you never let go of a lead. Now, you could say, Bill, this sounds like a lot of work, and my goodness, all I want to do is sell cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. I just want to come in every day. I just want to see a bunch of people in my pipeline. I want to get some, I think the dealership should furnish me with those leads. I think the manufacturer should be driving leads to us. Hey, look, make no mistake, they are. Okay? And you could debate with me and argue with me, for that matter, that the leads that they're sending you are junk. They're no good. They ghost you after a reply of, yes, the vehicle's still interested. If, in fact, they did ask you if it's available, if it's still available on Facebook Marketplace. The secret to motivating these people to take action is to show them how affordable the vehicle can be. And affordability isn't the monthly payment. Affordability isn't the bi-weekly. It's not even on a daily basis. And I'm seeing so many of you advertise the vehicle on a daily basis. And that's great. That's a hook. That is almost an irresistible offer. An irresistible offer would be no payments, no interest, no money down for 90 days or for 6 months or for a year. That's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't I buy a new vehicle if it didn't cost me anything at all? That's an irresistible offer, and we can't do that. None of us do that, to my knowledge. If you do, then please text me in and message me that in fact you do. And then I'm going to follow up with you. I want to know how that actually works in order to be able to do so. But here's the thing. When you have that fantastic hook, now how you build value in helping them make the decision that they would like to make in order to move forward and purchase this vehicle is by presenting your irresistible character. You know, they're buying the vehicle from you. They're not buying the vehicle from a clerk. They're not buying the vehicle from a kiosk. And nobody is buying the vehicle, to my knowledge, without some input from a human being on the other end of the line. Even when they click buy now on eBay, somebody's going to respond to them through a telephone call, push it over to a personal email, and then that vendor is going to want to make sure that they're actually dealing with someone who is going to show up with the cash, with the bank draft, with the certified check, and take delivery of that vehicle. There is always going to be a human component in the second greatest financial decision purchase that people make next to buying a house, and that is us, an automobile. So what you want to do as much as you possibly can is create value in yourself. Why should this individual want to buy from you, your dealership, and your particular brand? And through your 27 email sequence, through your 16 text, through your 6 month of follow-up, you've got to come up with something that is valuable that they actually want to see, read, and hear about in order to be able to convert to becoming a buyer. This is what sales is all about. Yeah, we've come through some pretty amazing times through the inventory shortage and, of course, the protocol that limited so few people from getting in. And we eliminated the tire kickers and only had the legitimate, committed, determined buyers. Yes, I recognize we are coming off of all of that. Now we're right back to normal. We're right back to a traditional marketplace with selection, with availability, with competition. And at the end of the day, what we need to do is make sure that we're doing what our business card reads: sales consultant, salesperson, product presenter, salesman, saleswoman. And that means helping people make the decision that they want to make by seeing the value, building that value bridge, right? Going from what their trade-in cannot do to what the new vehicle is going to accomplish. That is what moves them from a logical state of mind. How much is it? How much is it? How much is it? To an emotional state of mind. Oh my gosh, I just got to have this vehicle. This is what perpetual follow-up must have. This is what your seasoned professionals do. This is what your high achiever does in your dealership right now. They have figured out the dialogue, they figured out the cadence, and they never stop doing it. And this goes back to that magnificent book by Brad Hart of Atomic Habits. Here's the thing. The reason why so few follow up so regularly with conscientiousness, a dedication to help serving the client at the highest possible level, is because we don't make it a habit. Of course, the blueprint of step number 8, and of course, building your business, step number 7 in the third phase of the manifesto, will clearly create the habit for you because it is mechanical and it leverages math to overcome your problem of not having enough prospects in your pipeline dripping into your funnel. This is what I'm hearing from everybody right now. In fact, I'm seeing it from other advertisements. You know, the trainers that I follow in the automotive retail industry, seeing their ads through my fictitious profiles that I've created so I can see what they're doing. I mean, it's shopping the competition. I hope I hope you don't ridicule me or criticize me for that. And I certainly hope you're not judging me covertly from the perspective, or even for that matter, overtly judging me for the fact that I shop my competition to see what they're talking about. We're all on the same page. I understand a lot of us are struggling at the retail level looking for leads. And of course, the first answer that we arrive at is the most ridiculous one in the entire bunch, I think, that happens, is people start thinking about what other jobs they could do. What other industry could they go into? You know, the old adage that if you can sell cars, you can sell anything at all is so true, but why leave? I was watching an influencer the other day on with respect to YouTube. And becoming very proficient with YouTube. As you well know, I'm growing my channel. We're well over 2,000 subscribers and growing now every day, especially focused on North America, being Canada and the United States, before we ever go worldwide and hit Australia, New Zealand, England, and for that matter, any English-speaking area for training. We're growing our watch time really, really quickly. We fully expect it to grow faster because I'm becoming so much more conscientious about YouTube. And at the end of the day, it's a magnificent platform because it's owned by Google. So whenever anyone searches on that particular skill set that they would like to find out about, then the suggestion is going to be to YouTube, obviously. And of course, I think that's what a lot of us turn to. Anyhow, this influencer was talking about how so many people start on a platform. He's making more reference specifically to YouTube and then quit prematurely. They just give up because, it's all this work and it didn't work. Look, I started this Facebook group that a lot of you are following me on now, just going on 1 year. And at the time, a year ago right now, with 15 people in the private group and going live every single week, same time, Wednesday at 11 o'clock, I really thought it was a ton of work. And in 90 days from now, when we'd grown to 40 people, it's like, wow, this is a lot of work. Now we're at 430 today. And you probably look at it and go, wow, from 0 to 430. Well, if you're an influencer or you know an influencer, that's not a lot of people. But these 430 followers there, and our group is now growing on LinkedIn, and I'm experiencing the growing pains, and that curve is like this. It's almost a flat line before it starts to ramp up, and I hit my flywheel effect, and people start rolling in fast because of a dedication and a commitment of atomic habits to just keep doing it, not quitting too early, believing that this is worthwhile. You can do this as well. So my last and final point with Perpetual follow-up is that long-term stream of revenue. If you're asking yourself, why, Bill, why would I do this? It's because of the benefit that you will capitalize on by not having to rely on traffic that you cannot control. Any lead that is generated by advertising is being influenced by every other automobile dealer and manufacturer's advertisement. And that's why those buyers walk in, call in, email in, and they're so fickle and they're so focused on price. Because at the end of the day, we're not advertising you. We're not advertising how wonderful the dealership is to purchase from, how easy it is to do business with you folks, how quick and fast it is. You don't have to spend 3 hours at our dealership purchasing an automobile. You can do it in less than an hour and be driving home in the vehicle same day, same hour. That, I think, would be a better advertisement than we're the little cheaper dealer with a bird chirping in the background, or I won't be undersold by anybody, by your dealer principal or manufacturer or dealer group leader or COO, CEO, CFO, president, whatever the case is. Instead, we default to what is easy, the low-hanging fruit. Advertise that vehicle for a daily, bi-weekly, or monthly payment, which will reel people in. Show a huge discount. I'm seeing Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram advertisements all over the place. Free diesel. Well, when the truck costs $70,000 anyhow, how much of the value is a free engine? Yeah, maybe it saves $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 off the price of the vehicle. But what do customers think? Customers think that you can get 20% off the vehicle anyway. So they just knocked it down by 10 grand. Shouldn't be hard for me to expect another, at $70,000, another $14,000 off the vehicle. At least a starting point to negotiate from. You can't go down. You got to start low to be able to go up. This is how customers think. This is the customer focus approach of the manifesto. This is how you can sell 10, 20, and 30 vehicles per month with predictable consistency every single month. Like so many have, like Chandler Price, like Kevin Gracca, like Patrick Bellevaux, like Jerry Framemoyer, Framemoyer, pardon me. This is how you can get to those significant levels by creating those atomic habits, following up on a regular basis, leveraging the technology and the applications that are at your fingertips, because it just makes life so much easier having this long-term stream of revenue that kicks in and becomes your flywheel, and you just start working it. It's that old adage, if you want to earn more, you got to learn more. You've got to learn about ChatGPT and Gemini. You've got to learn how to leverage social media schedulers. You've got to know what customers want to see in social media so that you just don't get lost in the scrolling the feed. I'm not talking about becoming an influencer. I'm talking about influencing the specific individuals who are in market to purchase an automobile. And that's your perpetual follow-up. When you email them, when you spear them on social, when you call them, when you text them, this is how you remain top of mind. This is our job. And it's so easy to do when you know how to do it, because it's the habits that create the skill set. And I want to help you reach your maximum potential in the shortest period of time possible. And if you're sitting there thinking, I've tried this before, or Bill, if you're trying to help everybody do this, like 10,000 salespeople accomplish this, then I'm just going to be one of the others that are competing with the same messages going out to the same customer. And that is not true. That is not the case at all. You are of the 1% club. I'm so honored that you're watching this right now. If you're watching this as a replay, I'm equally honored. But do yourself a favor. Take action immediately, today. Excuse me, pardon me. Let me take a glass of water here. Take a quick drink before I wrap this all up. You don't want to be doing this in the fourth quarter of the year. You don't want to start this plan in November, December, January, or February of 2025. Now is the time to be experimenting with these tactics that all roll up into one strategy, which will become the habit of your job. And now, there is no uncertainty about what you're supposed to be doing every single day. There's only the certainty of how much money that you're going to make every single month. And that creates a lifestyle that is absolutely magnificent. Puts a pool in the backyard, a big house, swanky vacation, comfortable retirement, a boat, an RV, a toy car to drive, a motorcycle, 4 dirt bikes for everybody, such as my family, to go riding, mountain bikes. I get so excited about this stuff because it's so easy to do. And I love talking to individuals like yourself who are so ready and capable and willing to do it, but just don't know where to get started. So book a call with me. Click on that link below, the manifesto, and let's talk about it. Let's see how easy it is to get you signed up, get you on it right away so that you can get paying it off in less than 4 weeks. If you're selling 8, 9, 10 vehicles per month and have been doing so for a period of time, let's get you to that 15, 16, 18 mark in 30 days, less than 30 days. When you think about it, it's simple math. I'll walk you through it in the blueprint. We break it down into 6 opportunity categories. And I'm telling you right now, the traffic that you do not control, those intentional opportunities of people that have to buy now, are not the majority of your opportunities. They're less than half of your opportunities. The majority of your opportunities, over 60% of your opportunities, come from categories within the dealership, right underneath your nose, that those individuals are more than willing, ready to buy, and better than that, have the finances and the resources to do so. They're well capitalized. So book a call with me. I'm happy to share all those details with you. This is a little bit overtime. My apologies for that. Have a fantastic day. If you're watching this on LinkedIn, thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this on Facebook, thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this on YouTube, fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy private members Facebook group, the Auto Dealership Academy private group on LinkedIn. Feel free to join both. And of course, if you want to know more about the manifesto, how you can sell 10, 20, 30 vehicles per month with predictable consistency in less than 30 days, book a call with me below. I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.